Voinovich Park, Young Kingdom Movement. We out here at our Cookout. Twan Still's been doing it for 5 years. I got a special lady right here, a woman of God to change her life around, Miss SabrinaParr. So powerful right now, Miss SabrinaParr. I just want to ask you a question. Basically, what does this event mean to you, as far as the youth and the young people coming out to an event like this, and just everything that we're doing with this event?
Well, first of all, it gives people of our age group something different to do besides going to the club or laying up with a significant other on a Sunday.
Right.
So that was one of the main reasons I've always been a part of it, is because it just allows us to hear music, have food, conversate with each other, and not be in a nightclub. Because honestly, that's one of the things that we have to do in this city. But other than that, you know, just the fact that, I mean, big ups to Antoine for always being able to do this every year. It does cost money. Right. And that's one thing that I don't think people understand. So, and he's funding this not for his own benefit, it's just for us to be able to come together, and that's a way of serving. So.
Right. Bear with me. I'm gonna talk about, what I want to talk about right now is young Christians. It's a misconception that young Christians are not able to have fun or not able to do things. But I just want you to talk about that. Just like, what do you think about young Christians having fun, being out, you know, doing stuff in the community, and just showing a different way of Christians instead of the traditional way?
Well, being that I haven't been a loyal Christian my whole life, I can speak on both halves. You know, I did have the misconception that as a Christian, you know, it's kind of boring. You have to isolate yourself from the world. You can't do some of this. I mean, you can't do some of the same things, but there are a lot of things that you can include yourself in that are very exciting. For instance, a friend of mine who's a member of the Word Church, she threw a birthday party. It was game night. There was no alcohol. We all got together. We were home at a reasonable hour. We had a really good time, and that's, you know, there was adults there. I was able to bring my niece. You know, everybody was able to be there together. Right. There was no violence. You didn't have to worry about where you're not going to make it home, or you're not going to make it there. And that's the difference between, you know, being in the house of God or having God involved in the activity and just being out in the streets. So, you know, now that I am an active Christian, I can say that I have a very active life. You know, I have no time for myself anymore, and I'm okay with that, because I was just as busy, you know, when I was letting the devil control me. Now I'm letting God control me, and I'm just as busy. So, you know, and things such as being in ministry at my church, going through the classes. When I finish one class, I get involved in another class. You know, it's constant learning. There's nothing really to learn in the street. It's another way to survive in the street. It's the only thing you can really learn. But with God, you know, there's always things you can learn about how you can become better, how can you be, you know, benefit your neighbor as long as benefiting yourself. So that's one thing I can vouch on. You know, I'm now filling my time with things that God smiles upon, instead of shaking his head saying, you know, I know she can do better, and this is not how I'm going to use her by the things that she's doing.
Very, very powerful woman. I want you to talk about young women. Just empower young women real quick. Just talk about that for a second.
Wow. Well, the one thing I can say, you know, to encourage women is, you know, if you're living in sin, to be honest, it's not going to last long. You're gonna think that what you're doing is gonna last forever, and since you're getting away with it, then this must be what life is about. And you know, God has a way of getting everyone's attention. You know, He will make you fall, you know, but He'll pick you back up. But the point is, He's gonna get your attention, and He's gonna do whatever it takes for you to change your life and put you in a position to, you know, serve Him and become a part of His children. And to be honest, sometimes it's too late. You know, you don't want to wait until you've lost everything. You look up and all you know is God, and you don't even know Him. You know what I'm saying? So then you have to take initiative to go find Him and see what He's about and learn Him. And I said all that to say that, you know, just get involved now. It's okay to be a respectable woman, to clothe yourself, you know, to attract men in different ways. And I can vouch and say that I attract men now just by being me, you know, not by what I look like, what I wear, where I'm at. It's just about how I'm serving at church, how I present myself at work, you know, how I play sports, since I'm very active in that. And they're just attracted because I'm just focused on those things. And I'm also focused on being respectful. And then you attract the right type of guys when you focus on, you know, being respectful at all times. And I always say this, you know, to men and women: act and speak as if, you know, Jesus or the president was there. You know, and act and speak as if this is something that you want somebody to say to your own kids. It's so often we say things that we don't want our kids to say or hear, but, you know, we get mad at them about it, but what kind of example are we making? So I try to keep that in mind myself, you know, to act as if somebody who's higher, who is really watching me and there, who could actually have an impact on my life if I ruin that conversation. So, and another thing, every moment could be a chance for you to save someone's life and to save your own life. So you never want to waste a moment. Don't waste time by messing up, you know. So I would just say, to get started, if you're confused about, you know, how do I change and how do I get started, get on your knees, repent, you know, ask God for forgiveness, find a church home. The word welcomes everybody, and everybody there will help you get started just like they did for me.
That's SabrinaParr right there, champion, track star, Collinwood track star, right?
Right.
Track star, Collinwood track star, ESPN analyst was. Now you're doing your own thing.
I play professional football now.
Professional football. Shout out what you're doing. Just shoot out what you're doing a little bit.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing. I play a men's sport now. You know, it's not really for women, but they're giving us a shot. It's Arena League. The team here in Cleveland is called the Cleveland Crush. Our first game is September 23rd, and I'm actually using this, one, because I have the athletic ability, and two, to show people that even though I'm an athletic figure and leader here, you know, God is a sinner, you know, and I can use him, will use the tool that I'm doing as far as playing football to get people to convert over to be a Christian and to be a loyal Christian. And just to share a quick story, I had a teammate, I'm not gonna say any names, but she just noticed that, you know, I was a strong woman. I was really serious about, you know, not doing certain things, not going certain places. And she came to me and said, you know what, you really encouraged me to want to find a church and see what it's all about. She's not a Christian, you know, she's never prayed in her life. She's just always been spoon-fed. But that just made me smile, because I feel like, wow, I must be really setting an example, even on a football field, as crazy as it can get, that, you know, I'm standing out as a woman of God to somebody who doesn't even know what the image of God looks like. So I'm using what I'm doing at work, you know, at football or whatever, to show that I'm a Christian, and Christians can be really cool too. They're not just all people who keep their head in the Bible all day and, you know, don't do anything, don't have to be married to... Right, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, there are monks, they exist, but in our day and age, that's unrealistic. And I have a very joyful life. I'm working on my finances, and I have faith on behind everything that I pray for. So there's no doubts that it won't come true, because I live right. So if you keep those things in mind, then, you know, the path that God has for you, if you follow it, you know, it will lead to you being in heaven and being very successful.
Cleveland Crush, cornerback, right?
Yes.
Cornerback, okay.
Punt return as well.
Punt return. Her 40 time probably smoking yours, so watch out for her.
Young Kingdom Movement. We out here.